Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're back here with another game discussion. Today I wanted to talk about DLC. DLC as it currently stands and where it's come over the past couple of years. Actually, over, I guess you could say, the past 5 to 10 years where DLC has come. You guys are just seeing some random footage from the Elder Scrolls because I felt like the Elder Scrolls series in general has always been a series that has done DLC right for the most part. Of course, we won't talk about horse armor, but when you even look at the price for horse armor, it was actually pretty justifiable compared to the prices on a lot of the DLC that we see now and what we're actually getting in return. Now, I don't have a problem paying for DLC. I don't think it should be free, but it's about the content that we're getting in these DLC, in these expansions, in these seasons passes, especially. That is the real issue, you know, where we're starting to see like a real lack of creativity in the content. And it's become something you just know what it's going to be every single time. This discussion was kind of sparked on today because it's something I've wanted to talk about. And then Titanfall came out and announced their second DLC already. You know, after the first one we already got, which didn't really do anything to the game, you know, and added like 3 maps. It used to be, I mean, you look back at the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack, I use that as like the benchmark for DLC, because when you take a look at the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack, it was 15 bucks at the time. It came on a disc, which you could share with your friends. So technically, if you bought 1 copy, everyone you knew could have 9 multiplayer maps. 9 brand new multiplayer maps. 9 maps for $15. Nowadays, we're paying $10 for like 3 maps. You know, and then you get the whole season pass thing going on, which is a whole nother subset of the DLC. And the issue is the reason these things exist. There are so many people out there constantly complaining about the DLC and how they don't like what it is. All you did was give us 1 mission, and I agree. I mean, look at Watch Dogs, for example. The Watch Dogs DLC is absolutely atrocious. It's terrible. Just like everything else these days, they throw out a DLC pack, they throw out a season pass before you even know what's in the frickin' DLC, and then give you like 1 or 2 missions. Oh, what do I care about a mission that lasted an hour long? It's not even about the length of the mission at that point. It's just the fact that no creativity went into it. You just threw something else that was already in the game, just in a different setting, and you tacked it on, and you charged me for it. That's just lame. It's weak. It's pathetic, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I haven't bought DLC like that probably in 3 years. I haven't bought any of the Titanfall DLC. I won't. I didn't buy any of the Battlefield DLC. I won't. I refuse to. There's just not enough there for me to warrant saying, yeah, that's really cool, that'll expand my game experience. It does nothing. It adds a 10-second pile of extra crap for you to play, to experience, and get bored of in a week, because it's the same thing that you've been playing since the game launched. It's nothing ever new. Isn't that the point of something like DLC? To be able to take that extra time that you've had after the game's launch and add a new experience, refresh the experience that already exists, liven it up a bit, make it feel like something new? You would think that that is what developers would take the time to do, or at least, you know, expand in a big way. Something like the Elder Scrolls series has done. You know, with most of the DLC for Oblivion, you had Shivering Isles, which was a huge expansion. It took us to a brand new place. Yes, you're doing more of the same thing you've been doing in the game, but it was a new area, it was a new world that you got to explore. And for that kind of game, it makes sense. I think that's the other big part of DLC, is that how can you make DLC that fits, that makes sense in your world? What do people want when they play an Elder Scrolls game? What do they want when they play Skyrim or Morrowind? They want more of that game. They want to explore new places. They just want more. You know, they want to be able to do more in those places. Fallout's another great example. Bethesda in general, you know, and ZeniMax have done a really good job with DLC, saying, you know, we have people and they're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in our game. What can we give them? You know, what else can we give them? They've already spent all this time. Look how much time they've spent in this one area. Let's give them a new place to explore. Let's take them somewhere else. Let's tell a different story. That's the kind of DLC I want to see, man. Not just map packs. I mean, even Titanfall, granted it's a multiplayer competitive-based shooter, you had that entire story mode that they tried to throw in there. Why hasn't there been any improvements on that? Why haven't we seen any expansions upon that in any of the DLCs? It's not happening in Frontier. It didn't happen in the past DLC. That's a thorough disappointment for me. DLC, man. It's so far from where it needs to be and from where it should to be. And again, I'm not someone who has a problem with the price of games or DLC, but I do, again, have a problem with the content that goes in them. I'll more than gladly give you 15 bucks for that DLC if you prove to me that it can be something that makes sense, expands your game, and makes me want to come back to it to experience something fresh. That's what I want from DLC. And season passes, are just, they need to go. They're stupid. Basically what you're saying is that, hey, if you spend all this money right now without knowing what we have in the game, we'll save you a couple bucks. Why not just give me that savings from the get-go as a consumer who bought your damn game? That's where I start to get pissed off with DLC prices and with the publishers and how they're doing these things. What are you doing? I bought your game. I paid the money for it. And now you wanna give me a savings by making me pay for things up front? Why don't you just give me the savings in general and let me purchase what DLC I see fit? Because maybe I'm not interested in all of it. Guys, the only way this thing is going to change is if we stop buying this stuff. Now, I'm not going to go out here and demand some sort of a boycott, but I stopped buying DLC like that many, many years ago. The only DLC I buy is DLC that I think is worth the money. It's worth the experience. It's done something right. All of the DLC for Skyrim, all of the DLC for Fallout, those are like some of the last DLCs I can remember that I purchased. Even Mass Effect was hit and miss with some of the DLC packs. You know, I bought some of them, and then other ones I didn't, because some of them they were really great expansions to the story. They told more, and I thought they were worth it. But there were other parts of them where it was just like, you're just giving me some more missions to kind of extend the experience here. And you know what? I really don't care because I've already experienced my Commander Shepard story. So you're not really doing enough to make me want to come back. But to those people who sit there and complain and, you know, and shout about the prices and stuff, stop and think, are you the same person buying the DLC anyways? That's where the issue herein lies. Obviously, you didn't dislike it that much if you went out and bought it, but things like season passes, DLC like the DLC you're seeing in Titanfall, it's succeeding because people are buying it. All I can say at the end of the day is I think if you really sit back, look at that before you make that purchase, you would realize it's not even worth it. You know, even as someone who plays Titanfall on a daily basis, those few new maps really not going to do much to change your experience. It may hold you over for a couple days and you'll say, yeah, it's nice to have a couple maps in the rotation, but at the end of the day, is it really what you want? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.